Hi, everybody. So, a quick announcement before we get started. I have had a cold for the past, 5 days, but I have to film anyway to keep in, schedule. So, if I sound quieter, or if I sound muffled a little bit, it's because I'm still having a little bit of symptoms of said cold. So, I apologize. I will try to enunciate better for this video. But in the meantime of me being sick, some good things happened, such as I got to revisit my favorite show that has ever been on television, ever. I'm sitting there, it's my first day being sick, and I'm like, I don't want to get too far ahead in terms of watching things I have to review. So I was like, I'll just rewatch Breaking Bad, because why not? So today, we're going to be talking about Breaking Bad Season 1. Breaking Bad Season 1 aired in 2008, and there will be spoilers in this video. I always have spoilers when I'm talking about TV shows because it just makes it a whole lot easier. And if you can't remember exactly where Season 1 ended, it ended right after, so when he goes bald, it's actually not the last episode, which I thought it was. I thought episode 6 is the last episode of Season 1. I was incorrect. Season 1 ends episode 7, which is right after that, where they kind of get into it with Tuco, and ends kind of on a cliffhanger, actually, which I never realized, because I didn't watch this as it aired, because I was 7 when it came out. I watched this for the first time a few years ago with my brother. We literally binged it forever, and I was so happy, because it's freaking awesome. It is on Netflix. If you're somehow not caught up and you're hearing all these spoilers for no reason, watch it. It's perfect. You already know that I think it's perfect, so I'm going to talk about why I think it's so good and why this season in particular I think was a fantastic first season, because honestly, there are seasons that I don't think are perfect, season 2 being a main one, but season 1 is what I consider perfect. It really is. Maybe I don't think it's perfect, because I thought it was perfect when I thought it ended at episode 6, but we'll get there. So first of all, if you don't know what this is about, it's about this chemistry teacher who gets diagnosed with cancer, and so he decides he's going to sell meth to make enough money so that his family can live while he's dead. He doesn't have to provide for them anymore. Super cool idea. And yes, you may be saying, the characters kind of sound like they may be similar to those in The Sopranos. And you would be correct. I'm sure they took some basic parts of these characters from The Sopranos. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Especially Walter White, who is this fantastic character. He is the cancer guy. He also goes by the pseudonym Heisenberg, which I actually did not know. I didn't remember that this actually happened in season 1. He goes by the name Heisenberg in episode 6. And that's crazy to me. But the reason I think this is so good is it starts off perfectly. It starts off, the first episode almost has nothing to do with meth. It is almost entirely just Walter in his normal day-to-day basis. He's working at the car wash, he is a teacher, and he gets diagnosed with cancer in that episode, and that's when you see things kind of change. But you already relate to Walt. You already like Walt, which is why it's such a genius move, right? Because with a character like this, right, if you start off with him selling meth, you're obviously not going to like him. You're like, okay, well, we can't relate to this guy. He's just selling meth. We don't do that, I hope. So I thought it was really cool that we start off with just knowing Walt and getting to know him as a person before he becomes this awful person. Because by the end of the series, in the last season, you're like, oh, maybe we don't like Walt anymore. Because you don't. You shouldn't. But for some reason, you're always relating to him. And I'll get to that in the later seasons. But in this season alone, there's never a moment where you're like, you don't relate to this guy. Even when he kills the one person he kills in this season, it is brutal for you to watch. He's killing this guy in the basement because he has to. There's nothing he can do at this point. He's got him in the basement, he's locked, he's prisoner, and he realizes he's going to let him go. And he realizes the plate. He has the shard of plate. And that's when you kind of see the Heisenberg switch a little bit, but it immediately goes back to Walt. They didn't want to go full throttle with, oh, he's Heisenberg now. No, we want him to still be Walt. So you see a flicker right? In Bryan Cranston's eyes. You see him go, oh, I'm going to kill this guy. But then as he's killing him, he obviously feels his pain. It's like, I actually just murdered this kid, basically. He literally is about the same age as somebody who just graduated from his high school. And he's freaking out about it. And I think it's genius, because by the end of the show, when we see him throw the mercury or whatever, the fulminated mercury at the ground in Tuco's apartment or whatever, you see that he is Heisenberg at that point. He's like, I'm going to do this, and it's going to be good for me, and that's all that matters. And in season 2, it gets a lot more serious. I mean, we'll get to season 2 later. We're not going to talk about season 2. We're only talking about season 1. Jesse Pinkman is probably my favorite character in the show. I think he's brilliant. He's hilarious, he's funny, and he's very relatable. He literally he's out of high school. I think he did say that he flunked high school. I don't know. I know he flunked chemistry, but I don't know if he flunked out of high school. But he's just this relatable guy of just like, he's trying to make it, but he feels trapped. He's stuck in this world where he is in this drug realm, and there's nothing he can do to get out of that. He's stuck there. And I feel like that's always a relatable feeling of just being stuck. Even if you don't feel like you're stuck, it's always a relatable feeling to be like, I kind of feel stuck. And he's funny. I mean, he's hilarious. He's definitely the comedic part of the show for now. In season 1, he is entirely the comedic relief in the show. There's nothing else that this character does, and that was, I think, on purpose, because he was supposed to die, I believe, in the end of the first season. But people liked him a lot, so they kept him on. And I think this is honestly because he was only the comedic relief, because they didn't want him to have a huge role because he was going to die soon. But as we progress into season 2 and season 3, he becomes a more dramatic character. Yeah, he's still funny, but for the most part, he's this sad emptiness that we are now also relating to, and that's awful and also brilliant. But for this season alone, he is just a regular dude, and I really appreciate the wholeness to it. Really is what it is. We have this awful character in Walt that we relate to and we like because we're told to. It's similar to Tony Soprano. It's like anytime excuse me, anytime Tony Soprano would do like anything badass, we'd be like, whoa, yeah, go Tony, yes, you kill that man. And then you're like, wait a second, hold up. And that's kind of where we're at Walt, but not in this season. It is so important to know that in this season, Walt is just a regular dude for the most part who accidentally starts selling meth, basically. In the later seasons, he obviously becomes Heisenberg way more than Walt. And we can see that transition slowly, and I'll be talking about that when I do my next episode of the Breaking Bad series, when I talk about season 2. But I think that wraps up most of my season 1 thoughts. If you want more, let me know. I've watched this show probably 7 or 8 times, so I have no lack of content for you on Breaking Bad. So if you want more, subscribe and comment below saying you want more Breaking Bad stuff. I'd love to do some more breakdowns if you are interested, but I don't want to do it if you're not interested, so let me know in the comments down below. But I'm going to go ahead and give Breaking Bad Season 1 an A+. Have you guys seen this show? Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought about it. It is on Netflix if you have not caught it. It is brilliant. It is immediately followed by Better Call Saul, as well as El Camino, which follows Jesse after the series. So both of those you're going to want to watch after the whole series. Even though Better Call Saul takes place before, I recommend you watch it afterwards. I actually have not seen all of Better Call Saul yet, but I will after Breaking Bad. So if you want to see that, definitely consider subscribing, liking, and sharing with friends. And as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.